Hello, this is 6-Bolt in Von Doom's lab. So this video is going to be about the release of version 1.1.4. So okay, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to go over is some of the bugs that were closed for this release. So I kind of have some list up here. So the first one is the ammo and ammo value. We're not doing a recoil when ammo value was 0. This is for all the light guns except for the Reaper. So, of course, if you make a shot, if you had one bullet, you make a shot, then your ammo will be 0. So you should still have a recoil. I think I got caught up in how the recoil command is just goes 0 to 1. So then you ignore it when it's 0. So I think I just ignored that with this one. It was 0. So I changed this around so now it doesn't ignore it when it's 0. So it does do recoil. So yeah, I mean another thing is also when you do for Hook of the Reaper is when you get down to the Z0, you do the Z0 command, which holds back the slide. And that's kind of why it worked for the Reaper and not other like guns. So, but now I fixed that in the code, updated a lot of the ammo and ammo value, and did some other things that I'll get into later on. Okay, so the next one took a restart to update recoil delay timings on the alien gun. So the recoil delay is there to protect the alien gun from its kind of longer solenoid travel time. So like fast recoil games like House of the Dead 4 can easily kind of damage it if you play it a lot. It'd be banging a lot really fast. But so if you went into the edit light gun window and actually changed the recoil delay timings, it wouldn't take effect until you restarted uh, Hook of the Reaper. So I fixed that. So that was kind of a problem. So I'll get kind of more into that, but I moved also the recoil delay out of the light gun code too. So now it pretty much gets updated every time a new game starts. So okay, so the next one was this is kind of a more weird and nasty one. The recoil rumble to solenoid timeout member function could call the wrong light gun for recoil commands. So this is where I kind of just screwed up. For player 1, I was calling the first light gun in the list. So if your first light gun in the list was player 1, then it worked out. Or even if it's even if I was calling the second light gun, if it was the same as the same kind of light gun as the first one, it wouldn't matter because it's just getting the commands for it. So if you look at it, you can see it kind of here. I hard coded 0 in there, which is not good because you can change your light guns in the list. So it's not always the first light gun's always going to be player 1. So I changed it down here, as you can see, to the correct one. So I actually have a loaded light gun number for for 0, 1, 2, and 3 that get loaded up when a game starts. So when it loads up the default LG game file, it knows what things to load up and all that, then puts it into these variables. So now it's working. So I verified it. So I used the fourth light gun in the list as player 1 and player assignments, and it worked out pretty well. So which is good. So the bug is confirmed, closed, and now it's working. Okay, so the next one, disabled the 5 LEDs on the Reaper. So if you saved it and closed Hooker the Reaper, then loaded it back up, it wouldn't disable it actually. There wasn't, so when it loaded up the settings weren't getting pushed into the light guns. So that wasn't good. So if you went into settings, set this, then next time you ran Hook of the Reaper, it wouldn't do any. It wouldn't. You would have to go into the settings again and set it. So what I did was I just created a function in the com device list which controls all the settings, and I have a update light guns with settings function now, and this gets called after you load up the settings now. So also with the update with the display stuff too. And so the display stuff, the priority, then OpenFire has more display stuff. That all gets updated now into the light guns. So now that 5 LEDs on the Reaper, if you do check it and you restart Hook of the Reaper, now it will take effect in version 1.1.4, which is good. Then kind of last one was Terminator 2 was kind of skipping recoils with on the alien gun. And that's kind of due with the recoil delay recoil and the recoil rumble to solenoid. So they both use timers. And the bad thing was, well, not the bad thing, but so the delay recoil timer and code was in the light gun code. Then all the other timers are actually in the Hooker engine. So I was kind of like band-aiding it kind of before, and I was like, well, this is kind of stupid. I should just move it out of the light gun code and put it into the Hooker engine to simplify things. Then I could truly sync things up, and that seemed to work out and happen. So I actually last night even did a video showing actually I put the recoil delay on a Reaper in the code. So since I don't have an alien light gun, then I played Alien 3 and Terminator 2, which both use the recoil rumble to solenoid command. And you can see that it wasn't skipping any recoils anymore. So that's really good. So hopefully get this out and have people actually check on that in Alien Light Gun to make sure it's working pretty good. So I probably won't close this until I hear from the people using the Alien Light Guns to make sure that it's working correctly. So now it's kind of easy since the timers are together. I could easily if the rumble to solenoid ends, but the recoil delay is blocking it, it would set a bool to say, hey, do a recoil when you end. So when the delay recoil ends, it says, oh, this is set. I'm going to do a recoil immediately. So that's kind of how it syncs up. So and the timing is so small, it's probably easily under probably like 50 milliseconds. It's not perceived really. A human can perceive it, so it doesn't really matter. So then it keeps it kind of steady. So that was really good to do. But when the timers are separated, you can't do that too easy. So that's in, and hopefully it will get checked out. Like I said, I checked it out with the Reaper. Okay. So now actually let's get to the more interesting parts about the changes to Hook of the Reaper. So the big one, which I know some people are waiting for, is for the light gun displays. So actually only 2 light guns I have displays. That's the Alien Light Gun and OpenFire. But they're using these with pretty good. So since last one I put displays in for the alien gun and OpenFire, but now I got everything in for light gun display. So when you open settings now, it will ask you kind of what your priority is. So is your priority ammo or is it life? So if the game has both ammo and life values it can display, then it will pick your priority. So if you say ammo, then it will display ammo. And of course, if you choose life, that kind of sounds weird, choosing life, it will show you the life values. So that's kind of so you can just set it. It's by default with ammo, but you can change it to life. And then if a game only has ammo or life, it will display that one. So if you have ammo set, then you play like a game like Let's Go Jungle Special, which is unlimited ammo, so there is no ammo value, but it has a life value. Life will still display on the display. So even though your priority is ammo, and vice versa with the life. So it's really cool. So now it will display a lot of the games, have a lot of displays. Then there's display other. And this is kind of a user-defined variable that people can put in if you wanted to. So you can go into the game file and put display other command onto any output signal that you want to and observe it on the display for some reason, and kind of more for debug. And also display other, because it's kind of more debug, I put the highest priority on display other. So like I said, it's not really set up in any of the game files, but if you did want to start looking at certain output signals on the display, it's easy to do. So you gotta put that in. Then, okay, that's kind of more just the general light gun display settings. But now we'll kind of move into the OpenFire light gun settings. So since the OpenFire has a little OLED display, it can display a lot of things, a lot versus the two 8-segment LED kind of that the alien gun has. So they actually, with the OpenFire team, so if you choose life, they actually have, there's 3 options how you can display the life. So the first one is life glyphs, which are kind of just little heart icons. So like in House of the Dead 4, you get 3 life things. So when it shows up, you get 3 kind of heart glyphs or icons. Then when you get hit, it goes down. Then the next one, and also I want to say I did fix it, so if you put in life glyphs and you played like Let's Go Jungle Special, which uses like a life bar, so it goes from 0 to 100. So what happens, because the life glyphs, you can display 10 glyphs or 10 hearts. So then that will make, so a heart would be 10 then. So if you get hit and goes down to 90, it will take 1 heart out. Then if you get hit another time, it will, every time you lose 10 health, it will take 1 heart out. So that's kind of how it happens if the game's set up with a high value that can't display all of it. So if it's more, it has to be more than 20, then it can start dividing it down and put it into that sections. So just wanted to make that clear. So if you did play it, you don't have to worry about, going down to 10% health before, it starts going on. Okay, so the next one is life bar, kind of like I was talking about in Let's Go Jungle Special. You have a health bar, which is 0 to 100, so it works really well in the game. But so how does like House of the Dead 4 work if you have 3? So it does Division 2. So now with 3, it just takes out 33% all the time. So if you get hit, you get the 66%, then 33%, then down to 0. So that's that was in showing in the game. So that shouldn't be a problem. So you can see that in the preview I did. Then the next one is life number. And that just shows, like I said, in the House of the Dead, you just have 3, 2, 1, and 0. And also, it can only go up to 99. So if you have 100, it will show 99. So 199 will show 99. Then it will go down from that. So that kind of explains those. Okay, so another cool thing for OpenFire one, they have a split screen option that can display ammo and life. So if you enable that, so one part, so if I had life number and I enable that, you'll see this gets taken out. So what I do is I use ammo value to display the life value kind of thing. So to get another option out there. But since now we're going to do split screening, I can't use the ammo value for life, right? I have to use it for ammo. So that's why that option goes away. So when you're doing the split screen showing ammo and life, you can only do glyphs or life bar. So then you can have those. So that's testing out. Good. Okay, so the other thing I kind of want to talk about, the one last thing with light gun displays is talking about I had to put a display refresh in. So the alien gun with its 8 segment LEDs are very fast, so I could just throw data at them really fast and they didn't complain. But with the OLED display with a controller, it gets a little more, you can't just throw data at it really fast. It can't update it. I think I even read the data sheet and calculated it would, even moving all the video RAM over, which is one kilobyte, so 1024 bytes, would take about 23 milliseconds. So I had to put a delay in there because if I did 2 delays, like I mean, too many, like if I updated like life back to back really fast, it wouldn't show the second one. So that's why I had to put a delay in there. So what I found kind of works good for the OpenFire was 30 milliseconds. So I just wanted to show, let me bring up the file. Okay, so this is the openfire.hor file that's in the data directory. This is kind of where all the commands are, where, Hook of the Reaper knows what to get for what. And at the bottom is the display refresh, so it's in this file. So if you do have an OpenFire and it's, not really working well or not working correctly, I would first probably suggest probably change this to like 40, 50, 60 and see if that fixes the issue first. So that would probably be the best thing to try out right away. And that's kind of why I'm showing this, just to see that display. But I put in 30 and it's working for me. I got at 25 it was working. The only one that wasn't work if you do the split screen with the life bar, when you're exiting the game and switching the screen back to the default screen, it could crash sometimes. So that actually adds 5 milliseconds to that. So when you do split screen with the life bar, it goes to 35 automatically. But I just wanted to put you that. So I had to put that in. That was kind of more debugging and going back to display timings and all that. So that was kind of fun. Oh, okay. So moving on. So now we got the displays out. We'll move on. So another thing that another big change for version 1.1.4 is I added I added a new command called recoil value. So this will only work for it will work for Fusion, Gun4IR, and OpenFire. This is where the output signal controls the solenoid. So that's where, if you looked at some of the main hooker INI files, they'll have the CTM recoil hooked into the solenoid command. Then, when it's 0, the solenoid is in, not active, then it's 1. That's where it would, go out. So when CTM is a fast, I think it's on for 10 milliseconds, and off for 30 milliseconds for default timing for it, if I remember right in Demol Shooter. So that's kind of how it controls it. So I never really, well, for safety reasons, I didn't want to put that in for a while as I getting all the commands in. I wanted to have everything safe and kind of do what I call a immediate recoil. So that's where you tell the light gun to do a recoil. Then it does a recoil, and while it's doing a recoil, it will ignore any other recoil commands during that time. So then it's like really safe. With the recoil value, of course, if you're allowing it to have a pattern or an outside source to say open or close it, then it kind of makes me a little worried. So I put a safety timer onto it. So if the solenoid is open for 200 milliseconds, Hook of the Reaper will notice it and close it. So it will close, it'll, do the close command for it to bring the solenoid back. And then it will block recoil value for the rest of the game. It will bring up a critical error box and say, hey, the solenoid was open for over 200 milliseconds. You need to fix this. So it resets when a new game happens, but if you keep on doing it, it will just keep on doing that. Then, so it's a safety thing. So now, at least if the solenoid goes out, I have a timer on it to make sure it won't stay out all the time. So I know, like OpenFire and I think Gun4IR, I don't know about Fusion, they have temp sensors on the solenoid. So I know if it gets too hot, it brings it back. But I always like to have redundancy. So always make to have multiple safeties to make sure, you're not destroying anything. So I had that in now. So if here, I'll bring this back over so you can see it here. This is kind of what would, so in the MAME hooker, the P1 CTM recoil would equal to this kind of thing. So now you can actually do that in Hook of the Reaper too now, if you wanted to. You would have to change the recoil to recoil value for it, but like I said, it only works for those 3 guns. So okay, so the next one is, I talked about it beforehand and kind of showed the video, is I moved the recoil delay out of the light gun code and moved it into the hooker engine. This and all the hooker engine where all the other timers are at. So the other timers are the display refresh, which I talked about just a little bit, the recoil rumble to solenoid timer. Then there's the the open solenoid timer, which also gets carried on to for the alien light gun for the delay recoil. So that kind of gets reused, since only those 3 light guns can use the open recoil value. So the only light gun that has the recoil delay is the alien gun. So I just reuse that timer depending on the gun and depending on the function of it. So those are kind of the timers I had kind of set up. Then of course there's the refresh delay for the output signals that you could see in Hook of the Reaper. So the signals that show up here, you could change that in the settings too. If you go to settings, it's this one right here. That's refresh to output signals from Hook of the Reaper kind of thing. So since I moved that in, now I can sync up, like I said, I can sync up the 2 timers, so I don't have any skipping of the recoils anymore. So I won't go too much into it because it's already talked about it. So that's pretty much it on that one. So okay, so moving on, another cool thing I did for ammo and ammo value commands now support reload. So when you reload, ammo and ammo value will notice that and then send the reload command. Since there are not too many good signals for reload, I thought I can double up ammo value and ammo to do it, since it's always looking at the ammo value. So when a reload happens, it will send the reload commands instead of the recoil command. So I cleaned up the code for the ammo and ammo value. And also I added kind of the protections the Reaper had to all the light guns. So to make sure they, not certain stuff will happen at certain times, kind of what was happening. I know in House of the Dead 4 and where when you exit, it kind of makes it, go to 0 right away. Then, sometimes it was pulling the slides on both guns at the same time. Then it will, depending on the power supply, can handle it resetting. So all that is now into all the guns. So now all the light guns will rumble when reloading. So that's pretty cool. Then the next one, so for the game files that use recoil instead of ammo and ammo value, I added reload to the clip signal. So a lot of the games have the clip signal, and that's kind of saying if you have bullets in your clip or not. So what happens is when you shoot everything, your clip will go from 1 to 0. So then when you reload, it will go from 0 to 1. So then Hook of the Reaper will notice that 0 to 1 transition and goes, hey, you reloaded. And then it will do the reload commands, which will do the shaker motor. Kind of the same thing for the ammo and ammo value. So for a lot of them, if you had the shaker motor, I do the shaker motor. And then if there's LEDs on the light gun, it will show green when you reload too. So, but the only problem with using the clip is you have to shoot all the bullets out. Then you can do a reload. So if you only had like 1 bullet and do a reload, you would never get a 0. So you have to unload it all to get the 0. Then when you reload it, it goes to 1, and you get that 0 to 1 transition. So the clip is okay. I mean, at least you get some reloads out of it. It's not as good as the ammo and ammo value, where you can shoot 1 bullet, reload, and it will do the reload commands. This is you have to empty everything, then reload to get it. So it's, not like a perfect thing, but it's kind of the best for kind of what we have right now. But so it's kind of maybe one thing, maybe you want to try the ammo and ammo values now to try them out to see, getting reload all the time versus not. So that's kind of a cool thing where now we have like reload working with Hook of the Reaper depending on the thing. And I updated all the files for it to add the p-clip signal to it for the Recoil games. Okay, so next thing is when Hook of the Reaper kind of starts a game, I had it rumble, but every other light gun it wasn't really doing that. So I was like, I should make all kind of the light guns rumble when they are connected and disconnecting. So that's kind of what I did. So here, So if you look kind of on the Blamcon, I do the instruction, then I do a rumble, then I do the green LED, flash the green LED to say, hey, it's go time, like green means go kind of thing. Then on closing, I rumble it, then I do red LED, for like stop, then the exit one. Then, if you do the OpenFire, the same thing, where you have the connection, then you have a rumble, then you have the green LED, then the rumble here, then the red LED, then you exit. So then I kind of did that for all the light guns in here. That they should, if they had a rumble, it rumbles, and if they have a LED, it will show like the green and red, which is kind of cool. Okay, but that's pretty much all the changes in version 1.1.4. So it was a lot. So it was a big update. So I know I was out for a long time, but okay. So the next thing I kind of want to show real quick is instead of the issues, I have I opened up discussions under the Hook of the Reaper, which kind of there's some information starting already. I moved over some good information. So the first one is if you have an OpenFire, Vidal came up with a good kind of starting point, which makes the recoil work a lot better with Hook of the Reaper if you have an OpenFire. So he actually comes here, you enable auto fire, set solenoid interval to 20 milliseconds, set solenoid hold strength to 600, and set auto fire weight factor to 2x. So these 4 changes, and I know I think Chris Kulmad actually said the same information too. So it does make the recoil a lot better with Hook of the Reaper. So this was really cool information, and one of the reasons why I posted it up here. So big thanks to Vidal for that. Another person came in, Bandicoot 37, and he talks about how to get the supermodel emulator, the Sega Model 3 emulator, working with Hook of the Reaper. So you put the outputs.net into into the supermodel.ini file in the config directory. And if you do that, it's working. And I think even a person has confirmed it's working. And also he includes 2 gaming files for it too. So pretty cool. Then another guy is testing a lot of the alien guns. As you can see, he's tested a lot of the games and saying, are they working? This one has a little inconsistency, so he's done a really good job on that. So if anybody has an alien-like gun, I definitely urge you to come to the discussion and probably check out this discussion to read through about some of the testing he's done with all the stuff. So a lot of good information. So hopefully we can get. So what I like to have, just put a whole bunch of like information like this into discussion. So how to get like an emulator running, or the best timing for this game, or do these timings for the light gun. That'd be great kind of things. Great info to kind of have in the small little forum kind of thing. Okay, so and the last thing, I just want to say, probably sorry to the Blamcon and Xena Light Gun groups. Still haven't contacted them. After the basement move, I've been feeling pretty horrible. Then then the release of version 1.1.1.3c was kind of a disaster. I think I had a bug with everything on it, so I was like, oh my god. So I've been just taking it easy, so I just wanted to make sure to get better. I finally kind of start feeling better now. That's I thought I'd just get this done and out, then try to contact them probably tomorrow or the next day. So I wanted to say sorry to the Blamcon and Xena Light Gun groups. I'm still I'm finally getting better, but so I'll try to contact you, like I said, tomorrow or the next day. So, but that's it. So I hope you guys can download it and check it out, and hopefully give me some feedback. Thanks. Bye.